Hi guys, welcome back to the series Verbal Ability and Reading Comprehension for Cat by me Angad Singh. You can follow me on this link and please do rate and review the lesson series. Thank you so much. And this is the lesson 4 on odd one out of sentence exclusion. Let's get started with question number 1. Okay, fashions the tools, acts of blossom, suffering fruit, man is made or unmade by himself, true application of thought, okay, destroys, wrong application. Okay, let's read it properly. So it talks about something about creation by man or something, I don't know. On one hand, he fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy, strength, and peace. Okay. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Okay. Man is made or unmade by himself. This is a very crisp opening sentence, probably. By true application of thought, man ascends to divine perfection, but by wrong application of thought, man descends below the level of a beast. Okay, so this is some sort of some sentence of wisdom, some words of wisdom. On the other hand, in the armory of thought, okay, on one hand, okay, on the other hand. So these two sentences, 1 and 5, could make a pair. On one hand, he does this. On the other hand, in the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. Okay, so sentence 1 and 5 have to be there in the paragraph. Else, because both of them cannot be excluded, there's only one excluded sentence. So this is good that we know that both of them will be included. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruit. Okay, man is made or unmade by himself. Okay, both of them could be opening sentences, but the hint that I got about sentence 3 being the opening sentence was when I read sentence 1, that that it's talking about man building something, that he himself fashions the tools that with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions. Okay, so and sentence 2 is also talking about something related to it, that okay, act here, I think it means action, that action is the blossom of thought, that thought leads to action and actions lead to joy or suffering. Okay, by the true application of thought, man ascends to divine perfection, but by wrong application of thought, man descends below the level of a beast. Okay, so clearly let's start off with sentence 3, because if we start off with sentence 3, then we can decently move on to sentence 1 5. So 3 1 5 is a good sequence. Man is made or unmade by himself. On one hand, he fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions. On the other hand, in the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. Okay, so one thing that you can notice is what I do is I read the sentences aloud over and over again, which gives me an idea of what would be suitable if we were actually writing it. That if we are conveying it to somebody, how would we want it to be? So that is one thing that has helped me, that you must have already noticed. Okay, so we were at one hand and on the other hand. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. By true application of thought. Okay, so 1 out of 2 or 4 will be the excluded sentence. Let's see which one. Okay, on the other hand, in the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruit. I think sentence 2 will be the excluded one, because sentence 4 is taking forward the contrast which is shown by sentence 1 comma 5. The 1 5 sequence is being concluded very beautifully by sentence 4, is it not? On one hand, he fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions. On the other hand, in the armory of thought, he forges weapons by which he destroys himself. By true application of thought, man ascends to divine perfection, but by wrong application of thought, man descends below the level of a beast. Sentence 2 could have come somewhere. I don't know, but I think if you're talking about the remaining four sentences, sentence 2 looks like the excluded one to me. Let's check. Yeah, sentence 2 is the excluded one. Why? It was not a very easy one. Checking 2 or 4, the confusion between 2 and 4 is very justifiable. It's not a very easy one to catch. I could get that 4 is a part of the sequence only because I could see that 1 and 5 are there and 4 is taking forward the idea. Otherwise, 2 could have acted as the ending sentence. But just because 1 5 sequence was being very crisply ended by sentence 4, it is the one that will be there. So that makes sentence 2 a little bit out of context as compared to sentence 4. So let's move on. Jim Corbett hunted down tigers that had turned man-eaters in Kumaon, Uttarakhand. Okay, tourists visit Corbett Park. During his time, visitors can do this. The best thing about being in Corbett is that there is never a dull moment. Okay, let's read properly. Jim Corbett hunted down tigers that had turned man-eaters in Kumaon. Tourists visit Jim Corbett National Park mainly during the months of November to June. Okay. The best thing about being in Corbett is that there's never a dull moment and you can do many interesting places. Fine. The Corbett Park also invites people for adventure activities like rock climbing during this time. During what time? November to June. Visitors can explore Indian wildlife through jungle safari available. Okay. Okay, so I can see that 2 and 5 have some link, that 2 will come first and then 5, that okay, tourists visit Jim Corbett National Park during the months of November to June. And during this time, they can explore Indian wildlife through jungle safari. Okay. Okay, so you can also see that sentence 4 is taking it forward, isn't it? That, okay, apart from the jungle safari, the park also invites people for activities like rock climbing, rappelling, and river crossing. Many interesting places around Corbett. Okay. Jim Corbett hunted down tigers that had turned man-eaters. Clearly, one is excluded. All 4 sentences are talking about the national park, and this is talking about the person Jim Corbett. That what he did, that he hunted down tigers. So, this sentence would probably come if suppose this was an essay. This sentence would come somewhere where you're talking about the naming of the park, the after the name of Jim Corbett. Why was it named after Jim Corbett, the person? What were his achievements? That okay, he hunted tigers which turned into man-eaters for this long. So this is a fairly easy one, that okay, sentence 1 is excluded. Can we form a sequence out of the remaining 4? It's a no-brainer. Sentence 1 is clearly the excluded one. I don't think there's even a need to check the correct answer. But let's see if we can make a sequence. We already have a sequence between 2, 5 and 4. 2, 5, 4. Let's see where 3 is gonna fit. The best thing about being in Corbett is that there's never a dull moment and you can head to many interesting places around Corbett. This could be an ending sentence. That okay, it also, the park also invites people for adventure activities like rock climbing and all. And the best thing about being in Corbett is that there's never a dull moment and you can head to many interesting places around Corbett. Okay, so these 3 sentences, 2, 4 and 5, 2, 4 and 5 talk about what happens inside Corbett, and sentence 3 talks about it. Okay, there are interesting places around Corbett Park also. So sentence 1 is the excluded sentence. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this lesson was helpful. Thank you.